For over 2 years, the skies above Ukraine have been a brutal, unforgiving arena. Ukrainian pilots, flying aging Soviet-era jets, faced a larger, more modern Russian Air Force. They held the line. They denied Russia air superiority. But holding the line is not winning. To push back, to protect cities from relentless missile and drone attacks, to support ground troops, Ukraine needed something more. A modern, multi-role fighter jet. They needed the F-16 Fighting Falcon. This isn't just a new plane. It levels a very uneven field. It gives Ukrainian pilots tools to challenge Russian dominance. The importance of the F-16 cannot be overstated. It represents a fundamental shift in capability. Think, flip phone to smartphone. Old Soviet jets are tough, but sensors and weapons lag decades. The F-16 brings a new world of tech. It can see farther and shoot farther. It executes more missions with precision. Crucial for defending lives. Interception before impact. Suppress deadly air defenses. Support troops at the front. From day one of the full-scale invasion, air power mattered. Russian jets launched glide bombs from standoff range, pummeling positions beyond frontline air defenses. Cruise missiles terrorized civilians. Ukraine fought with one hand tied. The quest for F-16s is a story of persistence, against long odds. It began as the invasion started. Quiet, then louder requests for Western jets. Initial response, a firm no. Fears, escalation, complexity, training, logistics. Aid flowed, jets were a step too far. Early 2023, tide begins to turn. Kharkiv, Kherson, skill and resolve proved. Diplomacy ramped up, give us wings. Breakthrough. May 2023, US approves re-export. Crucial first step, training begins. August 2023, pledges. The Netherlands commits. Denmark commits. A major policy shift. Norway and Belgium follow. Formal training hubs stood up in Denmark, Romania, and the US first pilots arrived late summer 2023. Target operational by summer 2024. Air bases upgraded, shelters built, Patriots added. First jets reportedly arrived July 2024. Quietly, but decisively. By autumn 2025, a small but growing squadron. For troops, the sound overhead is hope. For the nation, a morale boost, and proof of Western support. For pilots, a machine that can match and often exceed adversaries. This is about survival and securing a sovereign future. The F-16 could make all the difference. Here is the plan, the power, and the path ahead. The F-16 isn't the newest or stealthiest, but it is among the most successful and versatile. First flown in the 1970s and upgraded for 5 decades. Flown by over 25 nations. Agility, advanced electronics, and a vast weapons menu. Designed lightweight, relatively low-cost, high performance. A true multi-role fighter. Excels in air-to-air and air-to-ground missions. A pilot's aircraft. Fly-by-wire yields maneuverability and stability to focus on the mission. Bubble canopy gives unmatched visibility. Ukraine receives midlife update models. With AN/APG-66 series radars. Detect and track at longer ranges than MiG-29s. See first, act first. The game changer is the weapons suite. AIM-120 AMRAAM for air-to-air. Fire and forget with active radar seeker. Engage beyond visual range, then egress. A leap over older semi-active systems. No need to hold lock until impact. BVR dynamics shift over Ukraine. JDAM turns dumb bombs smart. GPS-guided precision. Harm hunts enemy radars, CAD, opening lanes for other aircraft. Integrates long-range cruise missiles. Ukraine has used these from Su-24s, but F-16 launches are more survivable. Extends reach and sustainability of strikes. Targets. Command posts, depots, logistics, and key infrastructure. Lives and resources saved. Mobile air defense and precision sword. A versatile tool for a hard fight. Systems and training unlock potential and symbolize a strategic shift. Speed, precision, survivability. Networked tactics make it greater than the sum of parts. This jet is now part of Ukraine's future. Forged by necessity, refined by allies, ready when the siren calls. teeth to bite back at range, eyes to see through the fog, a hand unbound, finally untied, and a sky no longer seated. Next, who's sending the jets, and how fast? The coalition that made this possible. Europe leads, backed by the US deliveries are phased over years. First batch, under a dozen in 2024. More follow as pilots and crews graduate, with parts, munitions, support gear in tow. US approvals and industry enable the flow. Over 60 pledged as of late 2025, several squadrons. Not all at once, but enough to matter. A broad European coalition, backed by the United States. Netherlands, entire F-16 fleet transitioning to F-35. 42 pledged, with some for training. Denmark, 19 operational jets. Deliveries began summer 2024. Norway, 5 to 10 jets, plus engines and spares. Belgium, aircraft from 2025 as F-35s arrive. Over 60 pledged, enough to equip multiple squadrons. Staggered 2024, 2025, 2026, and beyond. US role. Approvals, training, logistics, munitions. Pilot training in Arizona and across Allied bases. Getting F-16s is half the battle. Training is the other half. It's a total shift in tactics and mindset. Starts with intensive English, then avionics and software. The jet's brain. Western prop trainers, then jet trainers. Conversion to the F-16 follows. Initial conversion in Denmark and Romania. Selected pilots completed initial phase in 6 to 8 months. Advanced tactical training, far more complex. Beyond visual range combat with AMRAAM, sea aid, hunting air defenses, precision strikes under stress, managing radar, targeting pods, and EW at once. Beyond pilots, a small army of maintainers, airframe and structures, engines, electronics and software. Techs trained across Europe and North America. Initial bottleneck, trained pilots and ground crews. Capability grows as cohorts graduate. Secure comms and Link 16 integrate the force. Coordination with ground and air defense units. Networked with allied surveillance assets. Data fusion multiplies lethality. Sustainment practices under wartime pressure. A team effort every sortie, from classroom to combat air patrol. Next, the mountain of logistics. Because jets fly on parts and planning. Engines, tires, brakes, constant flow. Shelters to survive missile and drone strikes. Dispersal and deception protect assets. Layered air defenses guard the bases. Mobility to break patterns and deny targeting. Integration into command and control is key. A missing part can ground a jet. Resilient, discrete supply lines keep sorties flowing. Survive to fight. Fight to protect. Logistics makes combat power real. How it stacks up against Russian fighters. When F-16s take the sky, they meet Su-35s and MiG-31 BMs. Light multi-role versus heavy air superiority designs. Dogfights are rare. Seeing and shooting first wins. Modern radar plus AMRAAM, Ukraine's critical edge. Against MiG-31's R-37M, survive, evade, close, and counter. Networked with AWACS and ground radars, the F-16 becomes a node in a wider shield. Superior situational awareness beats raw maneuver. Employ smartly, and the field levels, or tilts. Next, the impact on the war itself. F-16s won't win the war alone, but they change it. First, air defense impact. Mobile, long-range air defense in the sky. They can patrol vast areas, intercept cruise missiles, and down Shahed drones, forcing Russia to change routes, reducing strikes on cities, saving lives and resources. Second, pushing back glide bombs. Russian jets struck from standoff safety. F-16s threaten launch aircraft with AMRAAM, de facto no-fly zones, forcing them to stand off farther, reducing bomb accuracy, or risking shootdowns. Immense relief for troops at the front. Third, more survivable long-range strikes. Su-24s carried the load, but are vulnerable. F-16s are faster, tougher, better defended. Sustained pressure on high-value targets. Realism. Initial squadrons won't cover all Ukraine. Russia retains numbers and long-range weapons. Early F-16s defend key areas, contest the sky in sectors. They complicate Russian choices. They are a shield, a sword, and a symbol of a changing tide. Where this leads next. The F-16 is a bridge to the future, a pivot from Soviet hardware to NATO standards. It transforms structure, doctrine, and training. Goal: Expand and standardize the fleet. Build deep spares and munitions reserves. Create self-sustaining training and maintenance. Interest in Gripen for dispersed operations. Potential future buys, used, or even new. Block 7072. Fifth-generation jets remain aspirational. For later. War is forging experienced pilots and crews. They innovate, adapt, and persevere. Integrated into the Western way of warfare. The road is hard, but forward. Toward a powerful, modern Air Force. The roar overhead is the sound of that future. Built from verifiable, open-source reporting and official statements. For more fact-check defense briefs, subscribe. Stay informed, stay critical, stay safe. End of report.